Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet have a lot of differences from the previous generation, and I mean a lot. There are various buffs and nerfs for moves and abilities and changes to older Pokemon themselves. This video will be discussing many of the major changes in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and how it affects the Pokemon we already know of. I will not be spoiling any of the new Pokemon that aren't officially released, so you'll be safe to watch this video and learn alongside me. Like for example, Garchomp gets spikes now, Urshifu gets Swords Dance, Scald and healing moves are nerfed big time. Hisuian Pokemon from Legends Arceus are making a return to Scarlet and Violet and are more buffed than ever imagined. Right here, right now, let's discuss, get to the video. So I got a list here of all the buffs and nerfs in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Let's just go through each one and kind of analyze and break it down. First one, Scald is now the signature move of Volcanion. Ooh, okay, so first thing we need to talk about is the Scald nerf. The past generation has had us all fearing to switch in or set up with our physical attackers against defensive or special water type Pokemon in the event of being burnt by Scald, which happens more frequently than not. It doesn't matter if you're a resist or not. If you're a Gyarados or a Dragonite or something trying to set up Dragon Dance, Pokemon like Toxapex, Slowbro, whatever comes out, click Scald, you're burnt turn 1. Now, there's no reason to be afraid of that anymore, as Scald is exclusive only to Volcanion. Like I said, this affects, I was taking a look at it earlier, Slowbro, Toxapex, there are a bunch of other Pokemon that would run Scald, like, I don't know, maybe Swampert, Slowking, Keldeo, Primarina, a lot of them, Pelipper. So, with this in mind, these Pokemon can't just go for, Scald burns whenever they feel like it anymore. They have to rely, if they want a status, they have to rely on Toxic and stuff like that, but that will not cut your attack. So you can switch in pretty safely to these kinds of Pokemon. You don't have to be afraid anymore of that, and play more conservatively with any kind of attacker. And the teams that we're going to be seeing are going to be more offensive. Kind of leading to my next point here. Actually, before I get to my next point, please leave a comment and let me know your thoughts on the changes. And also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Lots of Scarlet and Violet content that I guarantee you don't want to miss coming your way. Now, as you can see, Recover, Roost, Slack Off, and such had the PP reduced from 10 to 5 by default. That's interesting because now we not only have a Scald nerf, we have a healing move nerf as well. So these moves here are predominantly run on like stall teams or Pokemon that need to like spam recovery or keep themselves healthy for a long period of time. And so as a result, we're gonna be more than likely seeing less stall teams, more offense, right? More offense because these moves, like stall teams really thrive on longevity and being able to last for a very long time in battle. And yeah, with the reduction of this, games will be a lot quicker. Offense will be used a lot more because it can just break through a lot of these bulkier teams. However, there's one thing that is overlooked, right? Is that not all recovery moves have their PP reduced from 10 to 5, with the max being 8, I guess. And so, there's actually Wish, which is still available at the full cost, full PP. So you can use Wish. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, Blissey does not get access to it anymore. No longer gets access to Wish. I don't know if Clefable is in the game or not. I have not seen one myself. I've been playing it. I've not seen one. I know that Umbreon is, of course, in the game, and it does get access to Wish. It also gets access to Calm Mind and Thunder Wave now. So this will be a Pokemon that I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot. I'll be using it a lot because I love Umbreon as a Pokemon. Really, really great mon overall. And other Wish users, Alomomola would be a huge Pokemon because they have, of course, Regenerator and Wish. Very good for stall teams, I guess. So there's still ways, right? There's still ways of stall working, but the nerf will affect, once again, Toxapex getting nerfed. Scald, gone. Recover, down to 5, or down to 8, I should say. So this Pokemon will get nerfed. I guess, let me just type in Recover. Pokemon with Recover, I guess, yeah, like a lot of these lower tier ones, I guess, less Recover. Slack Off, let's check Slack Off. There should be a decent amount. Slowbro, yep, Slowbro has to rely on Regenerator. Powdon, can't be spamming heals and recoveries. Well, what else? We had, I guess, Rest is another one. Rest only has 5 now, so you can't really run, I guess everything gets Rest pretty much, but Snorlax, I guess, is one of them. Like, for example, you can't run like Curse Rest to its full potential. That's a big one right there. And then, of course, like Shore Up, Milk Drink, Soft Boiled are all pretty much reduced as well. So Chansey Blissey not gonna be as great either. Blissey, yeah, like Blissey, yeah, it's pretty much Soft Boiled is nerfed and not the best for that Pokemon at all. Not the best. So I think that this is gonna be huge for stall teams, but it's gonna shift what they're going to be comprised of, in the sense that Wish is going to be very dominant now. I think you're going to be seeing a lot of Wish Pokemon. You're going to be seeing a lot of Umbreon. I think Umbreon is just a really great mon overall. And now let's talk about a buff. Hail is being replaced by Snowstorm, which boosts the defense of ice types the same way Sandstorm boosts the defense of special defense of rock types. That's interesting. So for the longest time, right, we haven't seen Hail kind of have the same positive effect that other weathers have had, where, for example, Sun boosting fire type attacks, Rain boosting water type attacks. We got Swift Swimmers, we got all kinds of stuff. I mean, Hail did have like Slush Rush users, ability wise, but like I'm talking like weather wise. Now we actually get a defense boost. This is actually really great. I was thinking to myself, I love using Mamoswine, especially AV, Assault Vest Mamoswine, because it boosts Spadef, and then if you're in Hail, it boosts defense. I don't believe Mamoswine is currently in the game though. It's gonna be there post Pokemon Home. Also, another point I need to make is that even though it's like, you know, Scald is, there are a lot of moves that are deleted. Scald being one of them from a lot of movesets. And so the information that we have about the game is that when you transfer Pokemon from Pokemon Home, their movesets get wiped out, and it's actually gonna be what it is in Scarlet and Violet. So you can't transfer Scald over. Not going to be transferable, of course, when you're transferring Pokemon through Pokemon Home. So that's why I think it's going to be more interesting to see how the metagame evolves. Because you can't transfer, you can transfer Pokemon over from Home that are not currently in the game, but the moves get replaced apparently. That's what I heard. So interesting to see. Now, yeah, Hail is going to be great. So there's a lot of great ice types, you know, that we're going to be seeing do a lot better as a result. I don't know if a little Ninetales is in the game. It might be not. I haven't seen one, but it could be like a transferable through Home, of course, right? Pokemon Home. But Ninetales getting up Aurora Veil and stuff like that with Hail boosting defense already has a pretty decent Spadef. Hail boosting defense as well, so you can get that Aurora Veil up a lot easier with the. It's not gonna be Snow Warning anymore. I think it's gonna be like, or it's gonna be like summoning Snow instead of summoning Hail, something like that. And yeah, a lot of ice types getting a defense boost is really great. I mean, think about it, right? Ice types, they're weak to fighting, steel, rock, a lot of these like physical, you know, attackers. Like Bullet Punch, for example, maybe you could tank one now because you have the defense boost in the Hail. It's definitely a huge buff, and I'm excited about that. A lot of ice type Pokemon will benefit from this, and there are some pretty cool new ice types in the game, which I will not spoil. You got your classic Weavile, Cloyster, Frostmoth, Frostlass. I've seen Glalie, I've seen Beartic, Avalugg. There's just a lot of ice types in general. I think they're really going to benefit a lot from the Snowstorm boost. I should be saying Snowstorm now because it's no longer Hail. But yeah, I've been playing the game. It's so much fun. 100 times more fun than Sword and Shield, I'll tell you that much. But anyways, I digress. Moving on. So most of the Gen 8 tutor moves are gone. Triple Axle, Poltergeist, Scorching Sands. Okay. And then Dual Wing Beat on Salamence. So it's also on Dragonite too, right? Dual Wing Beat on Dragonite's also gone then. Which Dragonite ran Dual Wing Beat quite a bit in Sword and Shield, in the metagame for Sword and Shield. Dual Wing Beat was a big thing on that Pokemon. Before that, it was Fly. So it kind of feels like we're going back like 2 gens, right? Where Weavile would be running Icicle Crash, not Triple Axle. Salamence and Dragonite would be running Fly. Because like, I guess even though there were Z moves back at the time, you could still run like bulky Dragon Dance Fly Dragonite. That was like a huge thing back then. Yeah, it's like it could be definitely worked around. I don't think it's too big of an issue. Poltergeist, normally a lot of the lower tier Pokemon would run that, like Golurk, Decidueye, etc. Scorching Sands, a lot of fire types have Scorching Sands, and it was used to beat like Heatran and stuff like that, but I don't know. I feel like I haven't seen if Heat Train's in the game or not. But anyways, there's a bunch of like moves that are gone from the game and a bunch of moves that Pokemon just don't learn anymore. And these are big ones, but I don't think they're gonna be like game defining as no Scald or less PP for recover. I don't think it's like gonna be that big of a deal because you could just replace the move for something else. It's gonna be less strong or less powerful, but still like Weavile's gonna be good. Weavile's gonna be Weavile, right? Salaman's gonna be Salamence. Like they're all gonna be good mons at the end of the day. So that's whatever. Aromatherapy and Power Up Punch are gone. Okay, so a lot of the mons that had Aromatherapy also had Heal Bell, bar the Grass type Pokemon, so Grass types are not going to enjoy that. Pokemon like Blissey that has Heal Bell, Aromatherapy, or whatever, doesn't matter. You can just interchange between the two. Power Up Punch is gone. Okay, so I'm a little sad about that. I'm a little sad because I would love to run, I mean, I've always loved to run Power Up Punch on many different kinds of Pokemon sets. And essentially, it gives you an attack boost without going for an actual boosting move, like Swords Dance or whatever, that can be taunted. This can't be taunted because it's an actual attack that boosts your attack. So I loved running it on like Mega Mawile, Tyranitar, a whole bunch of other mons. Power Punch, I'd love to run. It's a little sad about that, but glad that Rock Tomb is in the game. You already know. Okay, Headlong Rush, now Close Combat. So I guess we're kind of getting into, for these ones, I guess we're kind of getting into the Pokemon Legends Arceus, which is confirmed they are going to be in the game, these Pokemon. And I think it's going to be through transfer of Pokemon Home. So I think a lot of things get unlocked with Pokemon Home. And so, yeah, we're going to get Headlong Rush, now a Ground type Close Combat, Wave Crash, a Water type Flare Blitz Wood Hammer. So very, very strong. Completing the Starter type share, nice. Raging Fury is a Fire type Outrage. Ooh, Raging Fury. Chloroblast, now a Steel Beam Mind Blown clone. Okay, so I don't know what type that is though. Dire Claw, Break. Okay, so these are all interesting moves. They're gonna be good, I feel. Dire Claw kind of, I think that's the Sneasler. This is the Sneasler one, I'm pretty sure. And I'm pretty sure Wave Crash might be that Samurott, or maybe something else. Maybe something else I'm thinking of. Headlong Rush is definitely like the Ursaluna, the Ursaring evolution. These are all, of course, all Pokemon Legends Arceus mons. Like I said, they're not spoilers. These are just different moves that are going to be on them. Ice Spinner. Oh yeah, I saw this move. I actually got the TM for this. Ice Spinner. 80 base power. Remove a physical move that removes terrain. So it's basically an Ice type Brick Break. No, removes terrain. Kind of like a, is that like a, what is that? Steel Roller, but Ice type. 80 base power. I think it removes screens too, or maybe not. Maybe just terrain. But that's interesting. Kind of like Brick Break's power, similar-ish, sort of. But yeah, Trailblaze, Grass type Flame Charge is pretty cool. Yeah, Axe Kick, like Jump Kick, but with a chance to confuse. Still has recoil if it misses. So Axe Kick has a chance to confuse. That's pretty cool. Last Regrets. Oh, okay, this move, Last Regrets. So there are two Pokemon that get this, I think, and that is Basculegion, which is from Legends of Arceus. That's the evolution of Basculin. And then you remember that one Ghost Dog that was announced officially? That one Ghost Dog gets Last Regrets. I know that for a fact. Physical Ghost move gets stronger 1.5 times depending on how many members are dead. Base power, 50 base power by default, doubled for every death. Meaning if it's like the last mon out, 300 base power. Basculegion, I think, has Swift Swim, if I'm not mistaken, and that other dog thing has Sand Rush, so use them on weather. Last mon out, sweep the team. 300 base power, just spam that attack under sand or under rain, and it's gonna be crazy. And this move is gonna be very, very powerful, for sure. So that's gonna be interesting. Chilling Waters. Okay, so actually, yeah, Chilling Waters I've seen. It's interesting how Scald was replaced by this move. A lot of water types can learn this now instead of Scald, which no water type besides Volcanion can learn. And Scald, of course, heating up the water. Chilling Waters, cooling down the water. That's now that's something. Definitely they wanted to make the water not as hot anymore. But 50 base power, special move that always lowers attack. Okay, cool. So I mean that's fine. It can be switched out of. It's not like Burn, which always stays with you. So I'll take it. Grassy Glide. when it eventually returns, got nerfed from 70 to 60 base power. Okay, Rillaboom is nerfed. Rillaboom is nerfed, just by a little bit here. Sleep and Freeze are there to stay, while Frostbite is stuck in Pokemon Legends of Arceus. Frostbite was like a different mechanic back in the Legends of Arceus, different from Freeze. Sleep and Freeze are there. Okay, so that's fine. Let's get into some Pokemon specifics now. Pokemon specifics here. Charizard loses Scorching Sand, Defog, and Roost. That's a nerf on Charizard. I mean, Scorching Sands was great for burn. Defog, Roost gone. It lost Roost too. That's crazy. So now it just can't even heal anymore. Wigglytuff gets Nasty Plot. That's pretty good. Good for lower tier stuff. Same for Dugtrio. Dugtrio gets Swords Dance. Ooh. Arena Trap in like Wi-Fi battles and stuff would be fun. If you could just trap and then Swords Dance. Like that, the Durant with the Truant and the Entrainment, and then Swords Dance Dugtrio to +6 or something like that. Could be fun. Golduck gets Nasty Plot and Power Gem. Okay, cool. Hisuian Arcanine gets Stab, Head Smash. Justified Hidden Ability replaced with Rock Head. Oh shoot. Along with Extreme Speed, Close Combat, Psychic Fangs, and Morning Sun. Okay, Hisuian Arcanine is going to be good. That Pokemon's going to come in and click Head Smash. You just rock a Choice Band. It's not going to take any recoil. And, you know, if you just keep it like a Defog or some kind of hazard control mon or whatever, get rid of hazards, bring it in every time so it doesn't take 25% from Stealth Rocks, and then just destroy everything in your path. Hisuian Arcanine is going to be fun. It's going to be really good. Rockhead, Head Smash, Stab Rock. That's insane. And I think it has a good base attack too, so it's pretty good. Slowbro, and by association, Slowking loses Teleport and Scald. So, I mean, of course, Scald is gone, but Teleport too. To the normal person, that would be a big deal. But to me, we got the Switch button, so it doesn't matter anyways. We have a 5th move called Switch, where we can switch out our Pokemon manually. We don't need Teleport. That's whatever. Muck gets Toxic Spikes and Drain Punch. That's pretty good. I like that. Alolan Muck gets Drain Punch. Ooh, okay, so Alolan Muck coming back, I like that a lot. That's a really fun Pokemon to use. Poison Dark. I loved using it back in the day. A Gengar lost Sludge Wave. Oh no, but gets Toxic Spike. So that, I mean, this is a big thing, right? Because, I mean, I know there's Sludge Bomb, but Sludge Wave was a move that's not blocked by Bulletproof. Because Pokemon like Como or whatever has Bulletproof would come in on Gengar, it'd be immune to Shadow Ball and Focus Blast. So people would have to run a Sludge Wave on Gengar over Sludge Bomb so that you don't get completely shut down by Bulletproof mons. Now it's completely shut down. So that's unfortunate. But it gets Toxic Spikes. Okay, cool. So that's another neat addition. I'd consider this more of a nerf than a buff, to be honest. Toxic Spikes is good and all, but Sludge Wave was kind of useful, especially also like a little additional power and not getting blocked by Bulletproof, but maybe more balanced out because Toxic Spike is actually really good too. Scyther keeps Close Combat from Pokemon Legends Arceus, loses Dual Wing Beat and Bug Bite. It's whatever. It doesn't really need those other moves. Close Combat's really good though. It can doesn't have to go for superpower to lower its attack. It can just decimate things with Close Combat. That's pretty good. Gyarados lost Power Whip. Ooh, I did not know that. So losing Power Whip is really annoying for this Pokemon, but when you can Terrasilize into pretty much anything and run and run Terra Blast, you know, it just makes up for any kind of lost coverage on basically any Pokemon, I guess. Yeah, I guess you know, I mean, I don't know if Terrasilization is going to be in OU for long. I'll talk about that towards the end. Got a little bit to say about that. All evolutions get Calm Mind and Trailblaze. Oh, not all the evolutions get Calm Mind. We gotta look at this. Okay, so Vaporeon is the first thing I think of, right? So it's gonna probably have what? Calm Mind. Calm Mind. No Scald, right? So it's gonna have like Surf, perhaps Ice Beam. Ooh, this could be a user of Sub CM, Sub Calm Mind, because it already has like fantastic. Ooh, hold up. Imagine like some like bulky or something like, you know what I mean, like a defensive Sub Calm Mind. This would be a really cool set to run on Vaporeon because it has Water Absorb, Sub to avoid like Toxic and stuff like that. Calm Mind up. This is basically Suicune. Vaporeon has become Suicune, except with Water Absorb now. and much higher special attack right on the start, because I think Suicune's special attack is 90 and this is base 110. So very strong Vaporeon option here. So Vaporeon will be a great user of Calm Mind. Oh, by the way, Trailblaze is a new move. It's kind of like a grass type flame charge. So you could probably see like Trailblaze Leafeon, like a flame charging, but it's like a speed boosting grass type physical attack, I think. Could be pretty nice. I guess another great user of Calm Mind could be Jolteon. Calm Mind Jolteon though. So it's like Vaporeon has become Suicune and Jolteon has become Raikou, like with the Calm Mind and stuff like that. Cool, I like that actually. Calm Mind evolutions. Vaporeon loses Toxic and Scald. Okay, so no Toxic, no Scald, that's whatever. He gets Calm Mind now though, okay. Flareon loses Superpower. That's really bad for Flareon because that was, I think, one of the only ways of dealing with Pokemon like Tyranitar is with Superpower. So that's annoying. Galarian Articuno, Galarian Moltres, Galarian Zapdos. I'll get Tailwind, okay, that's cool. Articuno loses Defog and Mind Reader. Zapdos loses Defog? No, and Toxic? That hurts. No, Zapdos, no. Okay, so Zapdos is like not gonna be that great, I guess. Without Defog. It could still run the usual offensive sets that it runs on like rain teams with Thunder and stuff like that, but otherwise it's not gonna be a great support mon without Defog, but maybe it'll still do well in terms of momentum wise, like U-turn / Volt Switch. Moltres loses Defog, so I guess we all lose Defog here. Dragonite loses Defog, Dual Wing Beat, and Heal Bell. What a nerf, what a nerf. Mew loses Knockoff, Roost, Defog, Toxic, Teleport. Okay, so basically Mew loses the support set. That's what I need to know. Okay. And then Mewtwo gets buffed. Earth Power and Power Gem. So we're looking at some Hisuians now here. Typhlosion gets... Hisuian Typhlosion learns Eruption and Focus Blast now. Okay, cool. Ampharos Dazzling Gleam is nice. Sudowoodo gets Trailblaze. I mean, speed stat sucks anyways. Gets Spikes though, okay. Quagsire gets Stealth Rock, Spikes, and Toxic Spikes, but loses Scald. Okay, so of course a nerf from Scald, but now Quagsire actually getting hazards? Because never before did it have anything like that, right? As a ground type Pokemon, you know, it didn't have any access to those moves. Now it actually can set up rocks, so that's cool. I like that. I actually like that a lot. Espeon finally gets Power Gem. Okay, cool. Umbreon gets, yeah, Umbreon buff. I told you, Umbreon gets Thunder Wave, loses Toxic. Loses Toxic is whatever. Thunder Wave is pretty cool. It gets Calm Mind now too, so I mean it's a buff in my eyes, and it keeps the Wish PP from the recovery nerf, so that's great. Scizor gets Close Combat. We know that from the Scyther thing that we saw. Fortress gets Body Press. Whoa, wait a second. Fortress gets Body Press? Like, I mean, base 140 defense, right? That is phenomenal, right? Because this thing could easily run a nice support set, easy with I mean, you have Iron Defense on this, like Iron Defense Body Press. All of a sudden has become a set on this thing, and it's become good too. You can even run like Spadef or something. Okay, that's really good. That's a really good buff on this Pokemon. I like that a lot. That is very Fortress changing for sure. Blissey, Lost, Toxic, Wish, and Teleport. Okay, so yeah, like I'm saying, like all these bulky mons are getting nerfed big time. But especially the common ones like Blissey, Toxapex, etc. are all getting nerfed, but the more uncommon ones are getting buffed. Umbreon is very common in my eyes because I always use Umbreon a lot, but you know, other mons like Quagsire also, I think overall it's a buff. Like it lost Scald, sure, but it got like every hazard, so it's good. Tyranitar gets Power Gem but loses High Horsepower, Superpower, Roar, and Toxic. Okay. I mean, that's whatever. Still gets Stealth Rocks. Still gets what it needs. Oh, Pelipper loses Defog and Scald. Oh, I see. Okay, well, I mean, it's just gonna set Rain and Switch anyway, so doesn't matter. Gardevoir keeps Aura Sphere. Okay, so Gardevoir's gonna keep Aura Sphere from Pokemon Legends Arceus. That's gonna be great. I like Aura Sphere. Don't have to click Focus Miss. Good point. Ally Switch. Loses Ally Switch is kind of probably gonna be bad for doubles, I guess. Recover, Ice Beam. Ice Beam? Oh, Ice Beam was from Pokemon Legends. Ah, right. Okay, I remember. Gardevoir had Ice Beam in Pokemon Legends Arceus. It's not gonna have it now, so that's fine. That's fine. Ice Beam Gardevoir would be kind of crazy. Breloom gets Close Combat, Gunk Shot, and Bulldoze. Great buff, great buff. Close Combat Breloom is actually really good if you think about it, because like the strongest fighting attack it goes for is like Focus Punch. If it goes for Sub Punch or something. Now it can easily go Close Combat, Mach Punch, Bullet Seed, Swords Dance, or something like that, if you don't want to run Spore. Hariyama gets Drain Punch and Headlong Rush. Nice. Sableye gets Giga Drain, whatever. Okay, Medicham gets Axe Kick. That's the one we saw, I think, where it has the chance to confuse or something. Close Combat and Trailblaze. Grumpig gets Nasty Plot from BDSP. Okay, good. Dazzling Gleam Earth Power. So the Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl moveset's coming through. Swalot with Stuffed Cheeks. Swalot with Stuffed Cheeks. Body Press, Swords, and Toxic Spikes. Might need to do a Swalot video at some point. Zangoose gets Agility. That's actually nice. That's actually really, really good. Because you run a, like for example, I can see a Zangoose set, right? This theory build here. Zangoose, Toxic Orb, Toxic Boost, right? You literally just go Adamant. This is going to be a really good set, I'm telling you this right now. This is going to be a great set. You go Agility, Facade. You don't even need to run Quick Attack anymore because you have the priority in Agility. You could go definitely Close Combat. It should still have that. And Knockoff. Well, maybe not Knockoff. I think a lot of mons don't get that now, I think. If I'm not mistaken. You could even go Double Dance. Like Agility, Swords Dance. Or if you want to hit Ghosts, I'd say probably Shadow Claw. Oh no, I guess Night Slash could work. Yeah, just anything that can coverage-wise. Throat Chop. Bunch of options. That's definitely gonna be very, very interesting. So, Banette gets Swords Dance. Ooh, Banette. Swords Dance Shadow Sneak? Swords Dance Sucker Punch? That's kind of nice. Tropius gets Hurricane and U-Turn now. So Tropius getting a buff too. I like that. Always love the flying little banana tree to get some nice buffs. Groudon loses Heat Crash but gains Crunch, Spikes, Stealth Rock, Spikes, Groudon, Will-O-Wisp, and Body Press. Ah. Rayquaza gets U-Turn, Stealth Rocks, and Wild Charge, but loses V-Crate. That's whatever. I mean, that's fine. Yo, U-Turn and Stealth. What's up with these mons getting like random hazards though? This is like, okay, this is a really interesting buff that a lot of mons are getting hazards now. We saw Quagsire, we saw like Groudon, Rayquaza. Like what else? I'm kind of curious now. Okay, Luxray gets Trailblaze, loses Superpower. Losing Superpower is a big deal for Luxray, I think. That's just one way to beat a lot of different types of steel types. Vespiquen gets Spikes, very good utility. Floatzel gets Wave Crash and Ice Spinner, nice. Very nice. Gastrodon loses Scald and Toxic but gets Rocks, Spikes, and Chilling Water. Ooh, okay, so like we know, right? Chilling Water is going to be the replacement for Scald, basically. In terms of a lot of these mons, what they can run. Rocks and Spikes Gastrodon with the... So basically, what they're trying to tell me is, this is going to be a superior Seismitoad. A superior Seismitoad because this will at least get Recovery. Of course, you know, Recovery being nerfed and whatnot. It'll still get it at least. So I do think that it might be better, potentially, than Seismitoad in terms of a Stealth Rocker. So, okay, that's cool. Drifblim lost Mystical Fire. Okay. It does finally get Stab Air Slash, though. Okay, cool. Because before it was like Air Cutter for the special side. Special attacking Air Cutter, but now it gets Air Slash. That's cool. Garchomp gets Spikes and Liquidation. Spikes? Garchomp gets... All these ground types getting Spikes now. Ooh. Loses Scale Shot and Roar. Okay, so that now Garchomp does not have the Scale Shot set. I think it loses Toxic too. So, or maybe not. But yeah, it doesn't run the Scale Shot set now, so that's of course controllable because you don't have any speed boosting Garchomps anymore with the Scale Shot, so that's a huge change for Garchomp. I would say more of a nerf. I would say this is more of a nerf just because Scale Shot was one of the best ways for Garchomp to be able to outrun opposing Pokemon that are faster and sweep entire teams. Otherwise, you could revenge it with something. And there are a lot of fast mons in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So there's going to be a lot of stuff that can outrun it. But Spikes is really cool too. Like you could run a Sash lead with Stealth Rock Spikes. I could see one of the potential Garchomp sets being something like, for example, you could easily now run Focus Sash Garchomp, right? You could run it with maybe like Draco Meteor, like a mixed, like a kind of a mix set Earthquake, Stealth Rocks and Spikes could work perhaps. Some kind of a Suicide Lead Pokemon here just to like kind of, yeah, something like, I don't know, something like that perhaps could be an option on Garchomp. A lot of interesting things though. Okay, so Toxicroak keeps close combat for Pokemon Legends Arceus. That's good. That's a really strong fighting type move for Toxicroak, that it doesn't need to run always Drain Punch or Cross Chop. Cross Chop I think was the strong one that a lot of people run, but close combat's better. Weavile loses Triple Axle, knockoff against Ice Spinner. Alright, so it's going to be destroying some Tyranids and stuff like that with Ice Spinner, but I think Icicle Crash is probably a superior move regardless. And then Gallade now has the new ability Sharpness, which increases the power of slashing moves like Psycho Cut. Sacred Sword is also a slashing move too, nice. Which it now has access to. Ooh, Night Slash, Shadow Claw, Leaf Blade, and Aqua Cutter, and now learns Agility. So Gallade actually is really, really good now. Like, I think better than it was before because it has an ability that it can actually utilize more effectively, I feel. Before, what do we have with Gallade? So Gallade had Steadfast and Justified. Both of these are very situational abilities. You get a +1 speed if you get flinched, or if you get damaged by a dark type move, you get +1 attack, but you're neutral to dark, so you're gonna be taking some damage, unless it's like a Dark Pulse from a weak Pokemon. So here, when we have, what was it called, Sharpness? So Sharpness, we'd run, pretend it says Sharpness. We go like we go easily, Psycho Cut, Sacred Sword, and then Night Slash, Shadow Claw, Leaf Blade. Okay, well, Swords Dance easily. We don't even need Agility. Like, this thing does not need Agility. It could run Agility. It could run Double Dance with Agility. But I think Swords Dance is pretty good too. Or even Bulk Up for that matter. Swords Dance and maybe like Priority Shadow Sneak or something like that could work. Perhaps, but that powers it up too. Like, these moves get powered up. Swords Dance powering up attack. You could even, I mean, you could run Agility with Adamant. This is an option, right? This is also a viable option to go Adamant and then like Life Orb here. So like I could see a set like that perhaps being, without Shadow Sneak now, it could have like Leaf Blade or something. But this could easily be amazing. Just overall, really good Pokemon. There's a lot of options for Gallade now, so definitely have to put that on my list to do another Gallade video in the future because it has access to all this new stuff. Uxiai's Elf, Mesprit, signature move is Mystic Power, now 80 base power, stab move that increases special attack. Okay, cool. Dialga learns Trick and Focus Blast. Palkia learns Trick, so they got Trick now. Nice little, you could teach an old dog some new tricks. Heatran gets Power Gem but loses Toxic and Eruption, so no more Toxic Heatran, and no more Eruption Heatran. Ah, that's a nerf. That's a nerf. Definitely a nerf for Heatran, I would say, because Heatran relied on clicking Toxic versus Volcarona, and Eruption is just really, really hard hitting. It loved running that as well. Cresselia got a stat nerf. -10 in both of its defenses. Ooh, okay. Arceus now learns Healing Wish, Hydro Pump. Okay, it's gonna be good. We don't need to go through all that. We don't need to. Arceus is Arceus. We know what it does. It's a great Pokemon. Samurott. Okay, so also has Sharpness, gets Knockoff, Sucker Punch, Sacred Sword, Mega Horn. Okay, so this is gonna be a good mon. Hisuian Samurott is gonna be really, really good. Ceaseless Edge now lays Spikes, so it gets Sharpness, boost by Ceaseless Edge, and lays Spikes. This is gonna be a really good mon. I can tell this is gonna be a really, really good mon. So I can't wait to use that when Pokemon Legends Arceus stuff gets transferable to Scarlet and Violet from Pokemon Home. Regular Samurai gets Drill Run, nice. Hisuian Lilligant Victory Dance is a physical Quiver Dance. A physical Quiver Dance gets Ice Spinner, Defog. Okay, that's gonna be great. Let me just look this up real quick. Hisuian, do they have like the Hisuian mons I can click? They do. Okay, so like Lilligant. This is gonna get the physical Quiver Dance. It's gonna get like, yeah, so Grass Fighting. These stats are phenomenal. Well, defense-wise is not the best, but I mean, you just need attack speed and and the hustle ability. That's all you need. That's really, really good. Let me just look at Hisui and Samurott real quick. Ooh, okay. That's actually really cool. Yeah, and it's gonna get that new ability. That's it's really cool stuff. Like, I'm super excited for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet with the Hisuian mons. I'm glad that at least, you know, with the effort that I put into Legends Arceus, it's not gonna be unrewarded. I can send my mons from there into this game. That's really good. Basculin gets Wave Crash, nice. Crocodile loses High Horsepower and Knockoff. Lost Darkest Lariat too, begins Gunshot. Wait, you lose Knockoff and Darkest Lariat? Then what? Crocodile's gonna be clicking Crunch? Is that it? That's not good. That's a nerf. Gains Gunk Shot, but like, nah, you lose your two best stab moves on the dark side. Definitely a nerf. Okay, so Hisuian Zoroark nerfed. Stats are not the same as Zoroark. It's gonna be a good mon though. Normal Ghost is a really good typing. Gets a bunch of moves. Sawsbuck gets Body Slam and stuff like that. Okay, Sawsbuck cool. Alomomola loses Scald. Very bad for Alomomola, but it gets Wish and it gets Regenerator. It's gonna be good team support regardless of Scald or not. Electros gets Stomping Tantrum. Liquidation, Close Combat loses Knockoff. Okay. Still, I think it's pretty good for Electros. Even though Knockoff's gone, I think it's pretty good. Haxorus now gets Iron Head. Okay, nice buff against the fairy types. He has Poison Jab before, but Iron Head's a good addition. Beartic gets Earthquake and Close Combat. This is really, really good. Okay, so let me remind you all about Beartic. A real quick thing about Beartic is that currently it has no great way of beating Toxapex due to the fact that its only ground type coverage is Bulldoze and Dig. It's Bulldoze and Dig. This thing is gonna struggle beating Toxapex and stuff like that, but especially now with the Recovery nerf, Scald nerf, and the buff that it gets with Earthquake, it can beat Toxapex now. So Beartic, like, what do you got for a well-played Beartic? Let me know. Earthquake and Close Combat are really, really good moves for it. So that's a huge buff, I would say. Bishop loses Knockoff is a huge nerf. Okay, good lord. Hopefully keep Sucker Punch. Hopefully. Hisuian Braviary replaces Defiant with Tinted Lens. Esper Wing increases speed, also gets U-turn. Okay, so Hisuian Braviary we know is going to be a good mon. It's going to be a solid mon. Hydreigon loses Roost and Defog, but now learns Stealth Rocks. In what way? How does that thing set up rocks? How does Hydreigon set up rocks? What is that? But losing Roost is pretty bad for its Nasty Plot set, I think. If it's not running, if it's like Nasty Plot Roost, usually you'd want the recovery, but I guess not anymore. Gonna be more offensive. Defog, loss on this is whatever. Volcarona loses Roost. Ah, no. That's not good for the Roost set, but it still has Morning Sun. So Roost, I think, would have been the same PP as Morning Sun now with the nerf. So that's fine. It'll just run Morning Sun instead for that kind of set if it wants to run like the defensive Roost set with Quiver Dance, Fire Dance, etc. And loses Defog. I mean, it was never going to defog anyways, so that's fine. But I think, yeah, it's not going to change anything. Losing Roost, not going to change anything because it still has Morning Sun. So that Pokemon is still the same. Just the overall like Roost nerf, or the overall healing nerf, I should say, is what's going to impact it. But this is nothing. The Forces of Nature all lose Superpower, Defog, Toxic, and Knockoff, while Landorus gets Nasty Plot and Taunt. Okay, so Landorus is going to be even better than it was before. Wait, huh? Okay, wait. There's no way. Landorus gets a Nasty Plot now. So obviously we have two variants of Landorus, right? We got the Incarnate, we got the Therian. This is gonna get banned. This is 100% gonna be moved from OU to Uber. It's gonna be an OU for like a week. Remember how like everything gets unbanned And then, of course, I'm talking specifically about the 6v6 showdown ladder. But everything gets unbanned, and then, you know, after a while, things go back to where they should be. Some quicker than others. Now, Sheer Force landers would often run Calm Mind, or 4 attacks are either like 4 attacks or Calm Mind with 3 attacks. But now, Nasty Plot. Nasty Plot, Earth Power, Psychic, and Sludge Wave or something, or Sludge Bomb. Probably Sludge Bomb or Sludge Wave, doesn't matter. But, or sorry, I meant Focus Blast is a big one too. Like, this is gonna be insanely crazy and broken. Like, this is gonna get destroyed by the tiering system. But Lando T now with Taunt. Taunt is really good. So now you can easily run, so another set, like, you know, with the lead lander sets, they usually run Focus Sash with Rocks, Swords Dance, like Earthquake Explosion. Now you can just go Taunt. Easily. Stealth Rocks Taunt, lead set. Like, this is gonna be good. You could taunt stuff, you could set up Rocks, Earthquake Boom, or just Swords Dance Boom. Works too. Really good set overall. So that is, well, it's hard to say if it's a buff or not, because they lose Toxic, they lose Defog, they lose Knockoff. That's very bad for its defensive sets, but that's now leading it towards being a lead Rock set or a Nasty Plot slash Swords Dance or whatever kind of offense set. Because this, like Lander's T, don't get me wrong, like Lander's Eye is broken on the special side with Sheer Force and everything too. But this has a respectable base 105 special attack, so this can run Nasty Plot and it can run a similar set. So this is definitely a viable option. I would say its offensive sets are much better now. I would say its defensive sets are much worse now. So, and of course, you know, the other genies. Let's not forget about them, right? We have Thunderous now has, well, of course, they already had Nasty Plot, but Tornadus, Therian, oh, had Nasty Plot too. Okay, so no, it doesn't really affect those, I guess. Just other than like the defog sets, now Torn T can't defog. Lando is not able to defog. Thunderous never really defogged, but yeah, it's not as good for those kinds of sets, unfortunately. Next section here, we have Chestnut getting Close Combat, Body Press, Super Fang, and Wide Guard. That's a buff. That's a good buff. Body Press Chestnut is actually going to be really good because, if I'm not mistaken, has a really good defensive stat, right? It's like 100. It's got to be like 100 something, 122. Like, you see what I mean? Like, Body Press, Spiky Shield, Spikes, gonna be really good with this Pokemon. Really, really good. Delphox gets Focus Blast and Nasty Plot. Nasty Plot Delphox is gonna be great. Greninja gets Swords Dance. So there, I mean, like, all of the starters on the Kalos side are getting buffed. However, one thing that we got to talk about now, right, is the Protean Libero nerf. So I think I have another tab here which I'm gonna jump over to. So it should not contain any spoilers here on this tab in particular. I'm not gonna go to any other tabs right now. So Protean and Libero. You know what it does. We've seen it before on Greninja, Kecleon, of course, Cinderace, and etc. This now only works one time in the battle. Like, you switch in, I'm pretty sure it resets when you switch out. You can switch it back in and go for it again, but when you're in, you only change type once. Then it doesn't keep repeatedly changing every single move you go for. That's a huge, huge nerf. So you can only change it. It only works once. It means you can only like change it once. So I guess you could run U-turn, change to a bug type, U-turn out, come back in later, do something else, U-turn out. You could keep going for U-turn, right? Because you're gonna keep switching out. But you can't just stay in and keep switching up types. Like, you can't go for Sucker Punch one time, turn it dark, then fire, or then go for like a Hydro Pump, turn to water, etc. It's not gonna work. So that's a huge nerf, and definitely gonna impact anyone using a Protean Mon, or a Libero Mon, I should say. So yeah, very annoying there for that. Even like one of the, well, not really a spoiler showing the Pokemon itself, but one of the starters of the new generation, this one, is going to be having Protean as a hidden ability, and it's now a little bit more underwhelming. Anyways, so we have, where did I leave off? Yeah, Sylveon loses Mystical Fire. That's going to be, yeah, it's going to be unfortunate for Sylveon because it was its best way of dealing with Steel types in the tiers, so yeah, that's really bad. Hisuian Gudra replaces Overcoat with Shell Armor. Shelter is also an Iron Defense clone, also gets Flash Cannon and Body Press. So we're going to be seeing Shelter plus Body Press. We're also going to be seeing, yeah, I think this mon's going to be really good. It's going to be, I mean, it's Dragon Steel. We know this. And yeah, it's a great mon. Carbink gets Spikes, okay. Avalugg has Icicle Crash. Diancie gets Spikes, that's good too. Talonflame keeps Defog, okay. So Charizard does not keep Defog. Talonflame keeps Defog. Hisuian Decidueye gets Defog. Roost, Close Combat. Trailblaze, Knockoff, Sucker Punch. Okay, Hisuian mons are getting good stuff. We've seen this. Hisuian Samurott, Hisuian Lilligant, Hisuian Decidueye. Like all these Hisuian mons are getting a lot of great stuff coming in. So I'm excited about that because I know in Pokemon Legends Arceus, it felt like their movesets weren't complete. It felt like there could be more to their movesets, and I'm glad that we are actually seeing this in action here. So really great. And oh yeah, Triple Arrows are now 90 base power, and Scrappy's new hidden ability. So Scrappy, nice. Scrappy with that is good. Close combat. Oricorio gets Quiver Dance by itself. Toxapex, yeah, we saw the Toxapex nerf. Mudsdale finally gets Stone Edge. Okay. That's pretty good. I mean, I personally like to run Rock Tomb on mine, but you know. Lurantis loses Superpower. Okay, so that eliminates the Physical Contrary set completely because, yeah, Lurantis Superpower. Oh, but I do know that Contrary, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Contrary only works on the first turn. It's, I think, similar to Libero and Protean, where it only works, you only get the boost on the first turn, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if it's listed here, but we're going to go through the list and see if it is. But that's what I remember, so yeah, that's unfortunate. Toxic Bite Salazzle sounds pretty cool. Serena loses Triple Axle Knockoff, it's a nerf. Palisand loses Scorching Sands, yeah, that's a nerf. Komala losing Last Resort, it's a big nerf. Hello? No more Comatose Last Resort, like just click buttons? You can't do that anymore? Okay, Komala, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for you. Bruxus gets Wave Crash. Magearna gets Spikes. Ooh! Like, I can imagine early meta team, like, where all the other PNGs are broken except the original mons and the mons that we already have. Like, we have, like, Magearna, right? Remember the Choice Specs Greninja? Like, that would run Spikes because you put a layer of Spikes in so that Tangrowth comes in and he gets 2-hit KO'd. You're gonna be running Magearna, right? And you're gonna have Flash Cannon, you're gonna have Fleur Cannon, you're gonna have Volt Switch, or something like this, and then you're gonna have Spikes as that last move. It's gonna be so nice to have this moveset. Just to get like additional chip on whatever comes in and then switch out. Like, I know you're gonna be locked in, but you do the manual switching, right? Remember, I taught you this. Manual switching is the key to Pokemon. Forget about those momentum moves, just manual switch. Or forget about teleport, I should say. But yeah, that's really cool. I think it's a great buff. Oh no, this is a huge nerf. What is this? Rillaboom loses Grassy Glide, High Horsepower, and Superpower. Oh, that's terrible. Rillaboom thrived on this move, and these moves were its ways of beating Steel types. I guess, I mean, it has Drain Punch, right? It has Drain Punch. Oh, that's tough. That's very tough. Cinderace gets Swords Dance, but too late because Protean Libero got nerfed, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, to be honest, that is still really good. Like, even though, because Cinderace got moved to Ubers from OU because of the Protean and stuff like that. Remember, Cinderace got moved quite a while ago. With the Libero / Protean nerf, I think it does have a chance of coming back and staying in OU, perhaps, but Swords Dance is actually really good. Even just having a one-turn Protean, Swords Dance is really good because you can change typings and just become that and just stay that type. Like, it still could be really good, I think. Especially because Swords Dance is just a very powerful way. I think it had Bulk Up before, right? It had Bulk Up or something. Bulk Up Cinderace, but Swords Dance I think is just a great way of getting it to put in work quicker. Dreadnought gets Shell Smash. Didn't it have it before? Dreadnought? Or maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. But yeah, that makes sense. Colossal gets Power Gem, loses Scald. Barraskewda loses Flip Turn. Ah, that's devastating for rain teams. No more Flip Turn Barraskewda. That's pretty good. Tuxtrucy gets Heat Spikes. Hatterene loses Expanding Force. Grimmsnarl gets Parting Shot. Grimmsnarl part of Parting Shot actually. Yo, that's actually kind of nice. Think about it. Because we have Prankster. Prankster plus Parting Shot Grimmsnarl actually seems fire. It actually seems fire on momentum teams. Berserker gets Rocks. Okay. Indeedee loses. Okay, this is a huge nerf on Indeedee. Expanding Force and Mystical Fire gone. Those two moves will run all the time on it. Zacian got its ability and stats nerfed. Okay. Attack dropped. Zamazenta got the same treatment. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Yeah, I think we saw that in the other tab. But finally gets Body Press now. Yeah. Ooh, okay, that's nice. Yeah, Body Press Zamazenta is really good. He gets the boost from Dauntless Shield. And then gets the boost from Dauntless Shield and then Body Press. Just doing a lot of damage on the defensive side. I like that. Eternatus, Lotus, Fire Blast, whatever. I think it already had Flamethrower, so it's fine. Urshifu gets Swords Dance. That is crazy. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Swords Dance Urshifu. I mean we've seen Bulk Up Urshifu. We've seen Choice Band, Choice Scarf Urshifu, Taunt Urshifu, whatever. But Swords Dance takes it to another level because a lot of Pokemon, yeah, Swords Dance is crazy. Okay, I think this is gonna be really, really good. Even okay, so Wicked Blows weaken 80 base power to 75. That's fine, but it says nothing about Surging Strikes, nothing about Rapid Strike Urshifu, where Swords Dance is actually gonna be really good. Okay, so okay, wow, that's a huge. I think that's a huge buff. In my opinion, that's a huge buff. Swords Dance, your +2 attack instead of +1. That's gonna make all the difference. Zarude gets Swords Dance now and Trailblaze. So that's a really cool set to think about is an offensive Swords Dance Zarude with Trailblaze to boost your speed, like a Flame Charge kind of thing, and then go for Dark Spam or whatever. Pretty nice. Regieleki gets Charge Beam. Now, I think that's really good, but also one reason why there should not be Terrestrialization allowed in OU is because if this Regieleki were to Terrestrialize and go for Terra Blast, imagine you have like the way of getting past Landorus by going for Terra Blast Ice. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be absolutely insane. Regidrago gets Earthquake and Earth Power. That's gonna be really really solid for it. I think just additional coverage is always good on these mons that get walled by one type or the other. But not with Terra Blast, and not with Terrestrialization. So now we have Glastrier and Calyrex, both lose that. And then it gets weakened or something. Okay, so that's a nerf. Spectrier gets Draining Kiss. Thought it already did. Pretty sure, or maybe that was the, maybe that was like the other form where the guy's on the horse. Yeah, I think that got Draining Kiss. So Spectrier gets it now, it's really good. Cleaver, Stone Axe now is Stealth Rocks, that's a really good. Yeah, like I'm saying, like all the Pokemon coming in from Legends Arceus is gonna be really good. Ursaluna is gonna get a boost as well. Basket Legion, Sneasler, Overquill. Yeah, like these are all like super powerful Pokemon coming in from Legends Arceus. I'm excited to use them all, as well as make content for you all on the other new Pokemon that will be in the game, which obviously I'm not going to be spoiling in this video. Just talking about the ones that are already existing, new moves, abilities, buffs, nerfs, etc. Yeah, and I think that's the end of this list here. I do just want to check this Google Doc to make sure we didn't miss anything, since for me it was just easier reading everything off that list. I think the information there should be in this table as well, but let's just double check real quick, just to make sure. I think, yeah, we went over all this stuff pretty much. Azu, oh, I don't think I forgot if we went over this, but Azu losing Whirlpool? Oh no. This is the move pool deletion. Yeah, okay. So Azu losing Whirlpool is actually really bad for the Perish Trap set. That's a nerf on Azu, because it usually with a Sap Sipper set it could run Whirlpool Perish Song. Now I don't think it has any trapping moves other than that. So that set is eliminated entirely, pretty much. Last Regrets is a really cool move. It's a brand new move, and it seems Basket Legion gets it, and Basket Legion has Swift Swim, which means it can be really fast, right? Last Regrets is a move that starts at 50 base power increases 50 base power for every Pokemon that's fainted, with a max of 300 base power if 5 of your mons have fainted, and Basket Legion is the last one, and Rain is up. 300 base power ghost attack. It's insane. It's stronger than Explosion. So I think it's going to be a really broken move if you don't have a normal type on your team. I think a lot of teams are going to need normal types after this. Kind of reminds me of the whole Dracovish thing where Fisher Surrender was like spammed, but this is, I think, even like strong. This is like really strong ghost type attack. So it's going to be crazy, and it has Swift Swim. And also, this is not really a spoiler, I guess, but we already know about this Pokemon, the Ghost Dog, that was already revealed officially. That Pokemon is going to also have Last Regrets and Sand Rush. So it's gonna be interesting. So then, yeah, I guess, yeah, Bisharp losing knockoff, Blissey losing all this. Okay, just double check here. Yeah, it looks like it's kind of with Dragonite getting Encore. Ooh, okay, I don't think we saw that. It's not really impactful that much, to be honest. So I guess the evolutions have lost Weather Ball. Interesting. Yeah, I think we saw all this. We saw all this. I don't see anything standing out. Yeah, Gastron losing Toxic. Garchomp losing Toxic. We saw that. We saw Gyarados losing Power. We saw that. Yep. So it looks like it's all kind of... I didn't see the Cleavor. I don't think I saw the Cleavor stat increases. That's pretty cool. Cubfu plus no guard. Oh, so it gets another ability. Nice little Cubfu. Yeah, Kamala losing Last Resort is tragic. Absolutely tragic. Yeah, I don't think we missed anything else. I'm just gonna I'm just like glancing at everything real quick. Rayquaza is getting U-turn. Oh my god. Yeah, Regieleki gets Terra Blast. That's like I said, you know, that's exactly where I saw it from. I was like Terra Blast, Regieleki. Okay, every ground type is gone. We need to talk about Terra Blast. Like right after this, we want to talk about Terra Blast. Not Terra Blast, but like Terastallization. Yeah, it's this is crazy. Like so many changes. Sneasler gets Unburden. Sneasel Hisui, okay, that's cool. Be good for like lower tiers. And then pretty much that looks like it, I guess. Umbreon, Calm Mind, Trailblaze, Thunderwave, Weather Ball. Yeah, I mean that's pretty good. Vaporeon loses Toxic as well. Ah, I see. Ursaluna is gonna be so much fun. It gets Belly Drum too? Ursaluna, yo! Like I'm saying all these Hisuian mons are getting crazy buffs when they're coming in, like, and they're coming in hot. Can't say the same for all the Pokemon that lost Scald though. If you know what I mean. Yeah, this is nice. This is really cool. Zapdos, yeah, losing all that is tragic. And Weather Ball too. Oh, that's really bad for Rain. What the heck? Galarian, Zapdos losing Blaze Kick. Okay, that's whatever. That is fine. And then, yeah, pretty much it, I guess. I think we kind of went over the most of it. There was like a few more here that I kind of glanced at that were not in the notes, but I don't think they were really as impactful. But if I missed anything, or if this list missed anything that you know of, let me know in the comments, of course. I always look forward to hearing from you all. And with that being said, I did also want to take a moment to talk about Terastallization. I absolutely love Terastallization when I played through the game. I think for formats like VGC and Battle Spot singles, it'll be fun, it'll be interesting, and I can't wait to play those. For OU, which is 6v6 singles on Pokemon Showdown, now, don't get sad, y'all know how it goes. Any casuals or VGC players, this does not apply to you, but I predict it will be banned from OU on Pokemon Showdown within a week or two. That's my prediction. It's just my straight up prediction. I'll explain why. Firstly, right, you could Terastallize any Pokemon on your team to become any type you want by setting their Terra types, similar to how you set hidden powers. Don't even need coverage. Doesn't even need to be logical. It just becomes any type you want. And your opponents have no knowledge whatsoever of the Pokemon you're going to Terastallize. It completely removes the concept of counters. When you can literally become any type to like nullify counters, there's no such thing as a counter anymore, basically. You can also, and I tested this in the game, you can also switch out and keep your terrestrialization. And this is actually something that even Dynamax couldn't do. You could switch out a Dynamax like 1 or 2 turns in when you had like not used up your full turns, and it's gone. It's just gone. But here, you can switch out and keep it. I terrestrialized a fairy type into like a different type or whatever. I switched out, I came back in, and it was that different type. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. I think, in my opinion, it's gonna be broken. If you could just like change types into whatever, like that's not the actual Pokemon's type, that's definitely gonna be crazy, because you also gain stab from that. And think about it like this, in a format where it's super offensive all of the time because of the nerf install, nerf and recovery moves, etc., a lot of offense teams will be spammed. When you roll up with 6 sweepers or 5 sweepers and you have no idea which one's gonna terrestrialize, imagine that. Imagine how crazy that's gonna be when your opponent can just terrestrialize at their own convenience anytime they want, when it's in their favor, and it's like, okay, time to steamroll the entire team, time to snowball. That's what it's gonna be. I'm telling you, like, it's gonna be crazy. I've been playing the game, I know it's gonna be broken. Like, you have a small window reaction time versus all these offensive threats to act accordingly. Like, the mechanic completely changes type, gives you new stab, making you ready to sweep. It's just insane. Like in VGC, at least you have a little bit more reaction time, just because you have 2 Pokemon out on the field at the same time. And so if one Pokemon is getting out of hand, then you could double target, and then you have another Pokemon there. So if one Pokemon faints, it's not like 1v1, like, oh, something just got out of hand, now I can handle it. You can at least kind of play around, and you got like bullshit ally switch and all kinds of like stupid tactics and stuff like that in the format there. But I'm just saying, like, in singles, like, you can't even do that. Not an OU. I explained this on Twitter, and a bunch of casuals and VGC people who don't even play OU were saying it's not broken, it's similar to Megas. It was pretty funny to read. It definitely is not similar to Megas, because Mega Pokemon have their typings set and maybe add or change a secondary typing with a little bit of stat increases. But the bottom line is, right, you have almost 100% certainty what to expect. I see this as more on the level of Dynamax for a few reasons, because in Dynamax, the insane HP boost suddenly triggered by a random Pokemon is on the similar level of changing a type of a Pokemon randomly out of the blue. You'd have to potentially terrestrialize to counter terrestrialization, similar to how people have to Dynamax to counter Dynamax. Hence, Joey's saying, he who Dynamaxes first loses first. I mean, terrestrialization, it's still gonna be kept in random battles, and anything goes, of course, but I'm just saying, if it ends up staying in OU, I wouldn't mind. I'll topple the ladder with my heat sets regardless, but having played OU for so long, and seeing what happened to Dynamax, I know where this is gonna go. So make sure y'all get your fix of terrestrialization on Showdown when the game drops before it's gone, is all I'm saying. But if you're still not convinced, let me give you a visual example instead. So Gyarados, right, is a pretty good Pokemon, has Moxie. Every time it knocks out a Pokemon, it gets an attack boost. Now, it has access to Dragon Dance, which is a really great sweeping move for this Pokemon, right? It's gonna be running max this, max that, and that, whatever. So just pretend that this Gyarados has Waterfall, it has Earthquake, and in this slot, who knows? But for the sake of this example, let's say it has Terra Blast, which is not in the game yet. And Terra Blast is a move that is stronger than hidden powers, like 80 base power. It becomes either physical or special, depending on whatever your highest stat is on the offensive side. And if I can change this Pokemon into something like Grass, Electric, or Ground, or like just to get stab Earthquakes and knock out Pokemon, be immune to Electric, I could just change my whole typing. And then if I get up a Dragon Dance, I get a knockout, then I'm at +2, +1. And so because your opponent doesn't know what's gonna happen, you can essentially get a knockout pretty much for free if your opponent has no idea what's gonna go on, because you could change into whatever type you want. And so you get a knockout, then you snowball sweep, and maybe they've already lost the Pokemon that they needed to deal with a certain typing, and then the game's over. And this, of course, also applies to like pretty much any offensive Pokemon in the game. And of course, if you're like, oh, I could terrestrialize, like somebody was giving me an example on Twitter, I could terrestrialize defensively. Like, no, that's the whole point of why it's broken. If you have to terrestrialize defensively, that's stupid. So you could also run sub if you want to like avoid toxic or whatever and things like that. And it's crazy. It's gonna be absolutely insane. And if that still has not convinced you, imagine all the people that use Ring Target plus Regieleki now can use Regieleki with the classic Electro Ball, Volt Switch, Rapid Spin, and Terra Blast Ice. Terra Blast Ice. That's all they need to run now. Like literally. Now what? Now your ground types are useless. You could just click Terra Blast Ice or Terra Blast Grass or Terra Blast whatever. And yeah, it's just gonna be a huge mess when every Pokemon changes to whatever type they want. It's a huge mess. But that's all I gotta say about terrestrialization. I think it's gonna be banned from OU. That's just my prediction because I've seen it in action, and yeah, I don't know. What's gonna happen? Whatever happens, happens. I'll be fine regardless. This was also my first discussion video, I think. I haven't really done any discussion videos on generations and stuff, but if you like these kind of videos, I'll do more for sure in the future and stuff like that. I do like talking about Pokemon as well, even though I haven't really made discussion videos on like different generations at the beginning. Definitely have to do it for this one because I think this generation is going to be fire. It's going to be a lot of fun, and the game itself is incredible. In my opinion, 100 times better than Sword and Shield. It is. I have played it, but yeah, I'll see you all on the next one. Peace.